Slow burn.
Maximum volume.
Ooh, the beats. Ooh, the beats. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of What's the Score with PJ Moore. That's me, I'm your host, I'm PJ. With me is the lovely Carla Vasquez, Albuquerque comedian, big old pal of mine.
I came for him.
It's going to be a super fun podcast. Just to tell you what the podcast is, this is a movie history and soundtrack appreciation podcast. Basically, every season, we're going to do 9 episodes a season, focused on one genre. This season being those good old-fashioned stoner movies. And to prepare for that, me and Carla got really high and watched our movie that we're talking about today, Wet Hot American Summer.
This is true.
When was the first time you saw Wet Hot?
I think it was right before I moved to Kansas from New Mexico. I was like into buying a bunch of movies, so like maybe like 2004. It probably took me a couple years.
Oh,
when
nice.
It came out. Because it's 01?
Yeah,
Right,
01.
yeah. So around 2004, I think then I was 19.
Oh, yeah, that's the perfect age to watch it.
Eight-
That's
19
when
or
you
20?
get into weed.
Yeah. I didn't start smoking until I was like 28 though. I know.
That's when I got into weed. I thought I was a late bloomer, but I'm so glad that you got there, because we're just gonna be talking, and we've already smoked. I've covered that. I'm looking at my notes here.
He took extensive
I
notes,
took
guys.
so many notes.
What'd you say, 15 pages?
Yeah, I have like 15 pages of notes on this.
I have a card here that somebody gave me, and I used the back of that envelope for notes during the movie because I'm professional. It looks a lot like my comedy notes, actually, just like scribbled
Same.
on random receipts or something.
And well, when you're asking stoner movies, you might be like, oh, well, that's pretty objective, and it's like, well, that is true, but what considers a stoner movie to me, I think, is just like a movie that shows the use of marijuana and also has an underlying like silly theme.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where Wet Hot comes in. And I will say it's the least weedy of the movies I'm going to cover this season.
Yes.
So we're just like going in real slow into the weed stuff, but we're going to be covering a bunch of those classics.
Excited for the notes.
And like just before we dive in, yeah, like I just want to say this is my favorite comedy. I've watched this movie more than any other movie, The Jerk included, and that's a
Really?
close second. Yeah, I've seen this movie, I want to say, like, probably once for each page of notes I have recently.
You said like 8 times in preparation for this? or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, it's
And
been
that
a
was-
very long journey. I've actually watched it so many times that my DVD copy is now stuck on the bonus feature that just riddles the soundtrack with farts, like start to finish. There's farts all throughout it, and you hear that, and you're like, what a lame bonus feature. We just got done watching it, and it fucking rules. It's
was
so
awesome.
much fun to watch.
You were apologizing at first. You're like, I'm sorry, I'm
I
gonna have to
know.
do whatever. And I rasped about, I was like, oh, that was part of the song. I was like, oh, and then it was funny timing, so that was cool. But then I would forget about it for a while, like it would fade into the background. And then there would be like one very specifically placed one with a facial expression or something. I'm like, oh, it's back.
You're
like,
right.
Like the gift that kept giving and coming back. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
just give it a little bit of breath and just like fart. It's just the fucking best. We're like, if you want to get annihilated on a weekend with like a group of friends, play the like drinking game with the bonus feature that you just drink every time there's a fart. There are so many farts. You will be fucking smashed.
Dead or out of beer.
Yeah. Well, don't. Please enjoy responsibly.
Do it. Yeah. Do only a
Enjoy
quarter at
Wet
a
Hot
time.
responsibly.
Yeah. Watch 20 minutes tonight, 20 minutes next night.
And Oh man, I am so. We shouldn't have smoked. I'm so high.
We're good. It's right. The way it's perfect for this.
Oh yeah, our sources. So the sources that I was using on this for like the extensiveness of the research, I just used the bonus features of the DVD. I also just used Wikipedia, IMDb, and then I also watched the documentary Hurricane of Fun: The Making of Wet Hot American Summer. And honestly, if you can find it, it's kind of hard to find now since they took it off Netflix.
Yeah.
But it is really, really good. There's 25 hours, in all of like bonus feature footage, like behind the scenes, and they went through like all 25 hours of that and just showed the cast and the crew, and you can like tell they all loved being a part of this just amazing film.
And I watched this movie, and even today, every time I watch it, I'm like, I wish I could have been a part of that cast.
Right.
Like, that's a movie. Like, sometimes I'll watch a movie and I'm like, cool, but this one I'm like, oh, I wish I could have been there at the time when they made it.
It's one of those things like when you see it, and it becomes like one of those scenarios like, oh, if I had a time machine and the right agent, I would have loved to do this. And, I already talked about that. I'm so sorry. This will get better. Well, let's talk about the cast. So this thing is star-studded. So many fantastic performers, and like a lot of them got their start here. So Bradley Cooper, actually, he graduated school 2 days before going on set to shoot this, and this is kind of like the movie that was his start into movies and stuff, which was crazy. And then same with Amy Poehler too.
Oh, this is her first too.
Yeah, I believe so.
Second City, and he went to the school. What's that one? The one that they had the film act, that one show about the dude. Never mind. James Linton or Lipton, whatever he said.
Yeah, I can't remember. I do remember someone talking about it, but I just can't remember the name of it.
Oh, you're good. Cast.
Yeah, but we've also got Michael Ian Black. Just Molly Shannon. No big deal. We've also got Jolo Trujillo. I'm gonna get letters. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Trujillo. Yeah. Let's hope that's right. We got Ken Marino. Christopher Maloney from SVU and also Happy. Great adaptation.
Yes, he's great.
And then, how could I forget? Elizabeth Banks. She's so hilarious in this movie. And then, she's just one of those stars now that's, in anything she makes it better. Just so good. Damn. Okay, I forgot I was going to read the synopsis because I completely forgot some people don't know what this movie is.
Oh, yay. Hi, people that don't know. Watch it.
Watch
this,
it's
then
this
watch
little
that.
ditty right here. And the synopsis for the film goes as such. Camp Firewood, 1981. It's the last day of camp and everyone is busy. Camp director Beth, Janine Garofalo, is trying to keep order while falling in love with astrophysicist Henry, David Hyde Pierce. Henry is trying to save the camp from being hit by a piece of Skylab hurtling towards the Earth. Camp counselor Coop is in love with Katie, who is in love with lifeguard Andy. If that's not enough, there's a waterfall rescue, talking vegetable cans, the Misfits, the Cool Dudes, and more. It's star-studded, laugh-a-minute crazy comedy. Summer camp was never this much fun.
I would say that almost doesn't fit it, but then it actually does suit
My
it.
throat got so dry halfway through. I was power through it.
Too much stuff.
It didn't work.
The synopsis of the record, the summary of it is, at first I was like, this Skylab isn't the main focus, but the more you read it, you're like, yeah, there's just so much random, side stories in this, so many, wacky things happening throughout the movie that you're like, oh my god, I forgot about their story. Yes, back into it.
Yeah, there's just so much absolute bananas events happening in this movie, and we won't get into it. Let's talk. Well, let's meet our directors and writers and composers that made this film just an absolute fantastic movie. Why
What
did I
are they
smoke? So David Wayne, he is the director and co-creator, also the writer. David Benjamin Wayne was born August 1st of 1969 in Shaker Heights, Ohio. He has directed movies such as Role Models, Wanderlust, and of course, Wet Hot American Summer. He also, and I didn't know this before doing this research, I was super stoked to find out, but he plays the warden in Super Jail.
Oh.
Yeah, and I remembered his voice, and I was like, oh, get the fuck out, he totally does. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched Super Jail, you gotta watch it. It's not for everybody, but if it is for you, you're gonna love it.
It's a silly fun time.
And then next we have Michael Showalter. Showalter was born June 17th, 1970 in Princeton, New Jersey. He first came to recognition in the show The State on MTV alongside with David Wayne, as well as a bunch of the cast of Wet Hot, such as Ken Marino, Michael Ian Black, and Jolo Trulio. And he also directed The Big Sick, the movie with Kumail Nanjiani, about him and his wife.
Yeah, the one he wrote? Or
Michael Showalter directed it, which I didn't know that either.
He directs a lot of stuff. I think all three of them do a lot of...
That movie was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Big
that hamburger scene, oh my god, I lose my mind every time.
I'm noticing Ray Romano can make me cry like nobody else.
Really?
Total tangent. But in Paddleton and in that movie, it's just his serious scenes. I'm just it's like how Jim Carrey can make me cry when he's being serious.
Oh,
right.
They
have that certain thing where I can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like seeing your dad cry or something and makes you cry.
Yeah. And then our composers, we have Craig Wedren. He is a composer and musician. He was born August 15th, 1969 in Washington, D.C. He composed the score for Role Models, Reno 911, Children's Hospital, Velvet Goldmine, which I will probably do an episode in the future. Great soundtrack. And then also A Futile and Stupid Gesture, which is that movie about National Lampoon.
Yes.
And it's so good. Will Forte kills it in that movie. He was also the front man for Shudder to Think, which we were talking about last night. And yeah, he was part of the 80s hardcore punk scene. Alongside with Bad Brains and why am I spacing on this? Minor Threat. And if you want to see a documentary that goes more into depth about all that, and I highly recommend it, it's called Salad Days. Craig Wedren is actually in the documentary, and it's really just fascinating. If you like that style of music, I can't recommend it enough. It's really good.
I think I took notes in my phone last night about that. You were talking about it. I was like, I need to see that.
Oh yeah.
I took a note in my.
I can't remember the name of the director, but he it's just such a good one. And Ian McKay in it is just so funny and truth, and it's a phenomenal documentary. And we have one more composer, which is Theodore Shapiro. He is a composer. He was born September 29th, 1971, also in D.C. He plays pianos, keyboards, synth, violin, guitars, and drums. Master of Fine Arts from Juilliard. Right? Yeah. See, we have a little talent for the rest of us. He scored movies such as Devil Wears Prada, Idiocracy, Dinner for Schmucks, Fun with Dick and Jane, Long Came Polly, and Trumbo, which is a really good movie.
Trumbo, that's the only one I haven't seen.
It's the one about Dalton Trumbo, the guy who wrote Roman Holiday, but he was blacklisted because he was a communist. Bryan Cranston. Oh, it's really good. Give it a watch.
I thought it was about a trombone player.
And so, the film, like I said before, was written by David Wayne and Michael Showalter. It was directed by David, and the shoot was 28 days long at Camp Towanda in Pennsylvania. The cast and crew ate, slept, and like lives at the summer camp for the duration of the shoot. So it really was like they were at summer camp.
More jealous now.
Which plays off so well in the like movie because like all the chemistry in it, like it's like it's so real. I love it so much.
It's an organic feel. Like,
yeah,
to really be around
absolutely.
each other. I like that. I thought Michael Ian Black wrote on it too. Just
I think he did also.
Okay,
yeah, I might have left that
the
out.
three of them were like. Whatever. I don't know. I didn't read
I
that.
think
But
you
I was
might
just
be
like,
right.
I know that they did Stella and stuff.
Oh yeah, Stella. Oh, I
Great
can't believe
show.
I left that out. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, Stella was great. And so the shoot was 28 days, and it's a fun summer camp movie. But the only problem with that is that for the 28 days it took to shoot, there were 3 days of sunshine. So all the outside scenes in this movie, they shot in 3 days. Which is bananas.
Because there's a lot of outside
There's
scenes.
so much outside scenes, like they
Unless
were.
it's at night and they could like.
Yeah. Well, like, and even like when it was like raining, like they had to like shoot like those scenes at night. Like in the beginning, that bonfire scene that's going on, like when Jane is playing by Jefferson Starship. We'll get into the soundtrack here in a second. And yeah, like that bonfire scene, it is pissing rain. Like, yeah, and like
Yeah,
they just built. They had to build a bonfire in the rain, and like had to like go get like all this dry firewood like from somewhere, even though they were in the woods.
Oh my god.
And like, yeah, and everybody's dancing in like these '80s like barely outfits, and like
And there are a lot of barely outfits.
Oh god, like in all the interviews, you just see that like everybody is so cold during the making of this movie.
Surprising I don't get sick and have to stall for that.
They were really worried about that too. And yeah, so like 25 days of rain, like that's just nuts. Like David Wayne in like the bonus features of the DVD, he's just like talking about like his hatred for the situation, and he is just like so upset and defeated.
Get it together.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I feel for you. I'm so sorry.
I had a show like the other week that it ended up raining on us, and we had to like bail on the stage and move underneath the like the covered area with like all the
Oh, is that like an
audience
Inside Out?
would, at B2B.
Oh, okay.
So it's like an outside thing. And poor Troy put on the show. He was just like, "Oh my god, the equipment and this and that." But everybody stayed. I can't imagine that was for like 1 hour. I can't imagine just doing that for 25 days straight. You know?
Right. Oh man. Yeah, that it just sounds like hell. And like, even though it did rain for nearly a fucking month, they still managed to shoot a work of comedy genius in the bulk of just 3 days, as I stated earlier. It rained so much that the intro scene at the bonfire I've already talked about. I'm so sorry. This is a fucking mess. Let's get to the soundtrack. So, the first song we have is Jane by Jefferson Starship. And we were talking about the bonfire. And, like, I remember when we were watching, you were talking about the scene where like the solo in Jane comes on, and he's just shredding, but it's like on an acoustic guitar.
It's like an acoustic, possibly like classical guitar.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and it's just like, just absolutely shredding, just 80s solo.
And I like how that guitarist throughout the movie just like keeps popping up, like just randomly, and they're like, dinner!
Yeah, and he's just like riffing all throughout the movie. I can't like imagine like being a part of that bonfire scene though, and that's like the main bit of the intro. Yeah, and then like everybody's dancing in the rain. It's just like, this is not worth it.
Get the fucking shot.
It's so funny though. It's subtle. It's a great joke. I love it. Yeah, it's just, that's a joke that always makes me laugh. And then the next song,
subtle stuff, and it's so great.
it's just you have to kind of have an ear for what song it is, because it's Jukebox Hero by Foreigner, but it's screamed by children. Like, you remember when Coop was like just getting screamed at, like, to wake up by all the kids? Yeah, they're just singing Jukebox Hero by Foreigner.
They are, it's like an acapella. It's so cute. They're like surrounding the bed.
Yeah.
One has like a tennis racket and pretending to play, but you're right, they're just like yelling it at him. That's so
Right,
funny.
yeah, it's so funny.
And he put that on the soundtrack?
Yeah, that song is
Like the actual song or the version
I think
of them singing?
I think the actual song is on the soundtrack. But man, I would laugh so hard if there was a
10-year-old
like a
boys.
cameo.
Like,
Yeah. And for those listening, if you haven't heard that song, pretty sure you have. It's in so many movies. But just in case you haven't, we will be posting a playlist at the end of the episode that you can click on, so you can like listen. I don't want to play anything on here. I don't want to get sued. So I'm not gonna. Write me. Fight me.
We ain't got $50,000.
Streets.
Streets, bro.
And before we get into the next song, there's a scene, and it makes me laugh like super hard every time. But that guitar guy that we were just talking about at the bonfire, there was a scene where he's like teaching kids how to play guitar, and like the kids have the most expensive fucking guitars I've ever seen.
One even has a guitar with like the 2 necks on it.
Yeah, and I actually, because I've played guitar for about 10 years now, so like I was able to figure out like which guitars were which, and calculate how fucking expensive.
I love these fun facts. Oh my gosh.
But the first one is a Dean V, a 79, and it is $550 usually on eBay. The double neck, it was kind of harder to track down because I couldn't really see, but it looked to me like a BC Rich headstock. It might have been like, I don't know, like not a Carbon. I just said BC Rich. I think it might be like a Gunslinger or something. It's like a double body, but it's super badass. I looked, and the closest thing I come up with is like a $700 bucks. The next one is a Gibson Firebird, one of my favorite guitars. About $1,000. There's a Dean Cadillac Silverburst, one of my favorite guitars of all time. And then a Gibson Explorer. Couldn't figure out the year. They all look pretty similar.
The Dean one, the Silverburst.
Oh, thank you. The Silverburst was $750, and then the Gibson Explorer, $1,000 again. And so the total cost, not including the SG that the guitar guy plays throughout the movie, if I was going to include that, it would probably be like another $1,000. So let's add it. That's $5,000.
And guitarists, I hope they just like rented these out.
Yeah, so
I'm sure with their budget at that point. Like,
do you know how much they paid the extras?
And how much?
As far as I know, nothing. They won a contest on the radio.
I heard you say something about contests on there. I thought you were joking.
No, they won a contest on the
kids?
radio. Yeah, the extras, like the kids and stuff, they all like won a contest.
Were on it?
Oh shit! I should have wrote it down. I think it was something small, like I want to say 15 to like 20, but they like utilized them all throughout.
Which makes sense because, like I was saying, like during the summer camp, I mean, you're going to be interacting with this
same kids,
especially if it's these camp counselors they are in charge of these bunks. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a smart way to do it. Just contest time, guys.
Right. And so the next song that we have is
that legal? I'm sorry.
I don't know. It was
they're like children that you're not paying to work.
Well, I don't know. That does sound wrong.
I'm not questioning the legality of this movie, but I'm just saying.
From what I saw, I couldn't find what they paid them.
Didn't have rights.
I don't think people like post it online. But like, yeah, I couldn't find it. So that's just from my research. As far as I know, these people are monsters. I'm just kidding. they're great directors that probably paid children.
Yeah.
I probably did get that wrong.
Sorry, what were we getting at?
No, you're good. So the next song is Love Is Alright Tonight. That's going to be by Rick Springfield. It was released in 1981 on the album Working Class Dog. It's, like I was telling Carla when we were watching the movie, it's like one of my favorite Rick Springfield songs. And I do like Rick Springfield, which is kind of lame, but I do like him a lot. And this song is just so fun. It's a fun, like, summer, like, crack open a cold one. Let's get on a boat. Like, it's fun. It's a good time.
And like, he's a fun artist.
Yeah. And like, I love that they picked this song for the scene, because this scene is just them going into town and then slowly committing crimes, petty to felonious,
They like steal from a grandma or something.
Yeah, they like buy coke in an alley and like assault an elderly woman and steal her purse, and then it ends in like a train spotting-esque heroin binge.
Yeah, that seems.
And then they like drive back and they're like, oh man, it's great to get into town, even if it is just for an hour. And it's like just so absurd.
I forget all the time that scene that is like not longer than a day. The
Yeah,
movie,
exactly.
Like,
And it just
like one
reels you
day,
back into the
and you're
reality
like, oh,
of it.
That was in like 5 days of them going on a bender. Or
Right,
something.
exactly.
It's so great. And they come back looking all refreshed and like normal.
Yeah, they're just like, oh man, what a hoot of a time, guys. It's so funny. Oh, and that is, in that montage, they are smoking weed at what looks like a graveyard, so that's how weed ties into here.
It's literally
Again, don't write me.
Well, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the movie. 2 minutes of the movie, maybe.
It's maybe like.
But it's
The montage is probably like 2 minutes. The weed smoking, I would say, a solid 20 seconds.
Yeah, but it's 20 seconds enough. It's such like a great scene that
it made
like,
me
you
want to
remember
smoke
that.
weed. I'll tell you that.
Made me want to go on.
Surprised I'm
a
smoking weed right now.
Surprise.
So moving on to the next song as we just run through the list. It's one of my favorite songs, and that is Danny's song by Loggins and Messina. It's a country western song, and it's really sweet. The history, when I found this out, it really touched me. Like, Kenny, the man Loggins, wrote this song in 1971, and he wrote it as a song for his brother Danny, as like a gift to welcome his son that had just been born like into the world.
Aww.
And it's really sweet. It's such a sweet song.
Wait,
and
is it about this nephew or is it about his
it's like
name
about
is Daniel?
It's
Danny.
Well, that's where it gets confusing for me as well. So
Who's Danny?
So Danny is Kenny Loggins' brother, and he wrote it. He's like, "Hey, Danny, like I wrote a song about love, and it's for your kid."
Aww.
But his name's not Danny, I don't think.
I
That's
don't
how
know
Kenny
it.
Loggins
I'm
says
never
to
gonna-
me in
Did
a
him and,
conversation.
Did he really?
Yes.
He like couldn't name the song Daniel because there was a later one called that, so he named it Danny.
But yeah.
A lot of artists have brothers named Daniel.
Right, yeah. Who knows what it's about?
I love it. Kenny Loggins, what's he want?
But like this song appears in like one of my favorite scenes of the movie. Oh, it's the scene. So leading up to the this. Sorry, I'm so high I forgot what I was talking about. Danny's song. Okay, so leading up to this scene, Ken Marino's character, he is in a van with Joe Lo Trujillo's character, and like they're taking a bunch of kids up to a river to raft down, and so Ken Marino is trying to get his dick wet back at camp, and it's like 2 hours away, so he like pulls up, just fucking drifts into this gravel and just unloads all the kids. Get the fuck out of the van.
But he drifts so nicely that the raft falls off
Oh
the
yeah,
top.
the raft!
Like he doesn't even have to pull the raft off the top of the van because his drifting into like just, and then he stops and the like raft slides.
Yeah, like there's no ropes,
Yes.
like it just fucking
Yes.
like flies
It's so
across.
good.
It's so funny. And then like he's getting everybody out of the van, and there's a scene where like Joe Latrulio's character is like talking.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah, where he's like talking to Ken Marino's character. He's like, "You can't just leave. You're not gonna get back to camp by sunup." And he's just like, "Yes, I can." And I'm not quoting it. I'm gonna butcher this quote, but it's just like, "I will if you don't like it, or you could just go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
And just gets in the van and abandons them. It's so amazing.
Drives off.
Just drives
Oh
away.
man, the line where he tells the kids to wait here.
Oh yeah, later in
That's
the
one-
movie.
that's one of my favorite lines.
That one made me laugh.
And that same
It's one of those lines that it just makes me laugh every time. I say that a lot. I'm sorry.
This movie's funny. You laugh
It
every
is.
time.
You're just laughing the whole time through it. That's the problem, and the solution as well.
Jam-packed. Every minute's jammed.
And so like as he's driving away, this is where Danny's song comes in, and he's like singing along
Oh, that's
to the Loggins and Messina song, and like he gets the part, is like, And in the morning when I rise, bring a teardrop to my... And it gets there and he's like, oh God! And then he just fucking decimates this van into a tree. Just obliterates it.
To be sure, there wasn't anything in the road, but like there wasn't a bunny or anything in the road. He just fucks up and like goes
he just
so into the song scene.
It's
like,
apropos of seemingly nothing.
Okay.
He just loses
That
control of the
such a
van
genius
on a
moment.
like perfectly fine road.
fucking
Like
funny.
it doesn't look wet or anything.
Who I was listening to like Doug Benson's podcast, and he said that he looked up that most of the time, if you have a scene in a car, there's probably gonna be a car crash.
Oh, that
because
makes sense.
it's too big of a budget used to like do car scenes.
Yeah.
That unless there's some sort of big plot-driven reason for being in a car, they don't always do it, unless it's like a big budget show or something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah. Spoiler alert! I can see people driving in cars.
Actually, a fact that I found when researching this, that scene was actually autobiographical of like something similar that happened to David Wayne. Like the same thing. Like David Wayne was like trying to like sneak out like in the dead of night. I'm pretty sure it was night, and to like meet up with this girl that he was seeing. And he couldn't see anything, and he crashed the van. And he got in his quotes, big trouble. Which I thought was hilariously cute. Like, he's like, and I got in big trouble. But yeah, that totally happened to David Wayne, more or less. And I just thought that was just a fun
that
little
makes
fact.
it even better.
Right? Like, it's
this
just...
actually happened. Like, that's awesome.
Oh, and like just, I don't know why this came into my head. But during the shooting of this, they would play music in the headphones on set, like in between takes, and like there's footage of like David Wayne just like dancing, and then like he's like they play music in between the takes you want to hear, and then he like puts it up and it's still like rave music, and he just goes back to dancing. It's so adorable.
I love it. That's a great like morale sort of energy keep going.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was like such a smart, like what a good way to do morale boost.
Yeah.
And like all throughout this, like everybody's having such a good time. Like there's like this really funny scene where like in the behind the scenes footage where like Ken Marino is like twirling an umbrella and staring right into the camera, like singing a love song very creepily, and it's so amazing. It's
a bunch
really
of
funny.
weirdos on set. Because they're all like, I mean, some of them can be a little bit of a straight up. Everybody in this is goofy as fuck, even if they're playing it a certain way. Like, yeah, I want to be Molly Shannon's character in some way.
Oh man, yeah, we should. Oh, I can't even remember if. I think we actually passed it. We should talk about Molly Shannon real quick. Her role in the movie, she is like an arts and crafts counselor type person, and she is a mess.
Yeah,
like
hot mess.
Yeah, just losing it, and she is like just not having a good time because she like just like separated from her husband, I believe. And
that sounds a great time.
Yeah, and like the kid, and she's just breaking down in front of children, and they're just helping her, they're like saying shit adults say, like saying shit adult therapists say.
Gail, look at me. Say,
Yeah.
Okay, Gail, look at me. Say it's okay.
Yeah, say it's okay. I want you to say it's okay. Okay, that's verbatim.
Yeah.
And like between Molly Shannon and a child, it's so funny.
It's so good. I feel like I want to be her character or Janine Garofalo's.
Oh yeah,
Just
Beth is so
because
funny.
Those would be
What a character.
like just for me, my range, like those I would see, and they're
I could see that
opposite. Like,
for sure.
They're both a little bit of a mess. They don't really know like.
Oh man.
Coming
And
over.
that pants scene with Janine Garofalo's character. She's talking to Katie. She's like, "What would you wear?" Yeah,
Totally.
you do it.
Yeah. What would you wear if you were gonna go on a thing like a date? Would you wear like a clean pair of pants? Like pants? Really pants, Beth?
Are
She's
you
like,
kidding me?
And then she's like slacks.
Yeah.
And she just keeps saying pants.
I'm not kidding you.
She's like,
Like, of course I'm kidding. Yeah. What am I gonna do? Pants?
Pants?
So like slacks or pants?
Yeah. That one,
Like,
I totally see myself being like,
man, yeah.
I need some boy
Oh
advice.
man, you
What
would
do I do?
honestly kill that role. Like,
that one or breaking down as Molly Shannon.
hire Carla, whatever community playhouse.
Thank you.
Let's get Carla.
Cleveland Community Playhouse.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
Yeah,
They have so
there's
many
a massive
specific-
diss to that playhouse in
So
this.
many specific random shit.
Yeah, just so specific.
This is the Cleveland Playhouse.
I wonder if like that's like something that was just improvised by Amy Poehler. Like she was just like, fuck Cleveland
Yeah,
Playhouse.
Because a lot of it has to be, or some of it's ad lib for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
don't know what came from them or not.
Oh, it's so good. And then Turn Me Loose is the next song. Carla, are you a fan of Loverboy?
I didn't even know "Turn Me Loose" was their Loverboy song.
See?
I'm not good at song titles
That's
either,
it.
so
Oh,
I
that's
don't
all
know. I will know whole lyrics to songs, but not their title. It's really bad. Loverboy. I mean, I don't know. I think my parents were too. You know how you come up with your like parents' music at 30?
Yeah.
I think my dad was too old to hit that era of like the early '80s,
Mhm.
late '70s. So, were you a Loverboy?
No.
Loverboy fan.
No, I really wasn't. Which is awesome because this is only one of 2 Loverboy songs in this soundtrack.
Apparently, David Wayne liked them.
Yeah, David
Or-
Wayne was like, or not
What's
David
his
Wayne.
face?
Oh yeah, like Craig Wedren and Theodore Shapiro were just like, we need more Loverboy. That's what this needs. $1, not enough. I say $2, damn it. And we're gonna spread them out so it ruins 2 parts of the movie.
I just hope they reached out to the Loverboy people about we're using these songs, and they're like, we'll give you 2 for 1.
Right?
So
Just count Loverboy songs.
Just so there's more than one.
Oh,
in the
they're
movie.
having a sale of Loverboy. I love that. That's so funny. Oh man.
Wait, what's
They're in the virtual soundtrack like dollar bin.
like the
of the
Walmart
of the Universal soundtrack
the very front
library.
bins of
Yeah.
the exchange.
They're the ones they put outside because they don't care if you steal it.
Mm-hmm.
No, for all the Loverboy fans out there, I am sorry that you enjoy Loverboy.
If Loverboy's watching,
Yeah, if Loverboy is watching, I'm really sorry.
he or
I
them
know.
is
I'm sure you
watching.
worked very hard. I know you're in other bands too. I respect any performer and any musician who puts it out there. I honestly feel bad for harping on them so much. I just really don't like their music.
yeah, it's nothing personal. You have your be proud.
I'm
you
sure
have
you're
2 of your
very
songs
nice.
in this movie. 2.
But-
I don't even have.
I'm not
any
even
songs
saying Mike
anywhere.
Reno. I'm just saying Loverboy. I'm
Yeah.
sure Loverboy is very nice.
They, them,
Yeah.
he. How many are there?
And like, yeah. So this is probably my least favorite song on the soundtrack.
Name that.
But
band,
it
so.
does do well musically, like with the scene that is in it. Like I will give it that because it's like this is the part you were talking about earlier when your favorite line. Do you want to say it?
Wait, which one?
The raft one.
Oh yeah. Oh, is this the scene that Loverboy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cameron has driven away whatever, and Joe Lochelio, whatever. He's on the raft.
I
with
can't
the
pronounce it
kids.
either, I'm sorry.
He's on the raft with the kids. Which, by the way, side note, were they supposed to raft till sunup?
I think so.
They were
That
supposed to
is
be on
a
the
plot
river
hole.
for- He's like, I'll be back here, but that's just a silly thing.
Yeah,
about it.
it's that they
So
don't care.
They
They're
don't
like
care.
plot holes. It is riddled.
Yeah.
Like there are so many like continuity issues, like with haircuts. Like so many people have like long hair at the beginning of the movie, and then they just have short hair the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
and it's
but-
on one summer date.
It's so perfect for the movie. But yeah, so Joe's with the kids on the round.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we gotta find, what's his name? The Cameron's character. We gotta find
Oh,
him.
I can't remember.
Anyway,
it's escaping
he's like,
me.
dead or alive, we're finding him. They're like, hopefully alive. And then
Yeah.
he's like,
That was
hold
a good
on.
part.
And then he throws his oar out the raft, just steps out, and the water's to maybe his like ankles. Steps out, he's like, wait right here, kids. And gets off the side and wait right here, and they just keep going
Yeah.
down. Like, we're in a river, how are we gonna wait right here?
like,
He's like, wait right here.
One right here, he just dips, just abandons
Yeah, and then there
his
just
children.
happens to be a motorcycle and a camp next door
Yeah.
to the like
Oh, that
side
was
of the
actually
river. I was like, so
interesting. So Carrie from Reno 911 and David Wayne were in that
Oh.
tent, and they were
mean,
in a
that-
scene that got cut. But like,
Hmm.
they just kind of like bicker for a little bit. I see why they cut it. Like they just
Wasn't
kind
any
of
sort of-
yeah, but it is like kind of like a absurd kind of bit that they're doing. But it is funny. I'm kind of glad that they didn't include it though.
Because it probably would have thrown off the like trajectory of that scene as far as like ramping up to then the chase and all this stuff. Like it was like, wait here, kids, and then he finds a motorcycle.
Right.
Wait, so Loverboy, is that the one? That's
No, it's like, I was born to lose.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah.
And so, like, that song starts
Chasing.
playing, and it's like, in the beginning, like, very, like, ominous and bassy. Like, boom, 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 boom. I like that. I like that it just, like, gets into this chase scene, and the music starts, and Joe is... I'll say his last, I don't know him. Joe Latrulio is on the motorcycle hunting down Ken Marino. And Ken Marino notices him from way too far away, I might add. Like, he sees him, like, so far away and, like, just jumps up and it, like, I assume just goes, yeah, that's him. And then just starts running the other way.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And, and so they're just, like, running... Or Ken Marino's character is running, and Joe is just like coming up, and he's trying to hunt him down on this motorcycle, and it is proving difficult. Like, Ken Marino is somehow outrunning this motorcycle, and just like,
yeah,
just sweating it out. Like, it looks like the run from Kung Fu Hustle, kinda. Like, it's so funny. And like, Joe's just right behind him, ganging on him. Oh, I was just gonna talk about the hay bale thing.
Oh, that, but right before that, I like when they first, you think that he's far away and he, like, looks by his shoulder, he's, like, still running, and then it pans out and you see that they're about this close from each other, and their, like, faces are, like, this.
Yeah, they're
he's,
very
like,
close.
looking back.
Like, it's very obvious, like, it's, like, a
So
hitch
good.
with the bike on it, and probably, like, Ken Marino in, like, a truck just doing this in the bed.
Just running.
Like, it's really funny, though.
Great.
It's just such an
hay
absurd
bale.
bit.
They get to the hay bale.
Oh, yeah, and the hay bale, like Ken Marino sees this hay bale that is just in the middle of the street. It's maybe 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
And he just, like, runs up to it, jumps over it. And then Joe, the Trujillo's character, I guess, I'm so sorry, just like coming up, and then he can't get past the hay bale, so he does that 80s skid into it, and it's like, dang it, like the villain is, they foiled my plan, kind of thing.
Almost got him.
Yeah, we almost had him.
Can't have a movie without a chase scene.
Right, you gotta have a movie with a chase scene. Yeah, and like, honestly, like, all jokes aside with Loverboy, they're confident. Like, I wish I had that confidence.
Yes,
like, their lyrics...
Band Loverboy. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
Already
That's
right
a good
there.
point, yeah. like, that, like, their confidence, they're basically just making love to whoever I please. Just sticks out in my head. Confidence.
Yeah.
Like, the closest I would get is, like, talking to Mary, which is my girlfriend. I'd talk to Mary. I'd be all like, she's over there. Hello. But like, yeah, the closest I'd get would be like asking Mary. I'd be like, asking Mary if she wants to watch a race ahead again to whoever I please.
Yeah.
Like, that's the closest I could get, and I live with her.
I already have her.
Yeah, but nonetheless, this scene is just so wet hot. Like, quintessentially, like, it's the scene I tend to show people to, like, try and get them into the movie, because it's just silly and absurd, and, like, you just have a fun time watching it, and it's just absolutely fun to watch. Where are we now? I just covered that. Oh, okay, so in between, this is where, like, there's not another song for a pretty long time, so I'm going to talk about some scenes that were pretty funny that I watched, or that we watched. The first one I'm going to say is, at first, a very unfortunate, like, Porky's type scene. Like, it's just, in today's society, it's just very kind of cringy. Like, it's,
the beach scene.
where they're, like, the three guys, Zach Orth, A.D. Wells, and Michael Ian Black. I'm so glad I remembered that.
A.D. Wells, good job.
Oh, yeah. this was his first movie, too.
Oh.
Yeah. And, like, A.D. Wells, you'll know him from Role Models. He was, like, the very chipper, kind of camp counselor type guy. But, yeah, and, like, A.D. Wells and Zach Orth are, like, talking to each other about, like, how they want to get Michael Ian Black's character, like, laid, and they're just, like, watching like predatorily from a tree.
Yeah.
These
Down
ladies
the tree.
play in like their bikinis with a beach ball. Again, raining
Playing.
for 25 fucking days. Any water scene you see in this movie, they're so cold.
Yeah.
Just absolutely freezing.
I kept on nipple watching, like, did they have band leads over so everybody wasn't just like headlights the whole time? It was weird. Costume department worked overtime.
Right. And like this unfortunate scene does actually come back
yes.
pretty well.
Such a good
And like
idea.
it becomes like a very passionate scene because they're like the big joke of it is that they're like, oh, we need to get Michael Ian Black's character laid. But the whole time, Michael Ian Black and Bradley Cooper are fucking in a shed.
Mm-hmm.
And like also Bradley Cooper is the bottom and it's very hot. I liked it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nice.
I'll retract what I've said about Bradley Cooper in the past because I forgot about this love scene.
Yeah,
Well,
this
my-
is
I had-
acting.
Well, my ex, like from a minute ago, he was a straight man, whatever, but he said that if he had like his man crush was Bradley Cooper, and I was like, what? I would lose him in the crowd. Like he's not unattractive. He just looks like every other like white straight man in America, kind of.
Mhm.
And then this scene, I was like, hey, Bradley Cooper, hello, Michael Ian Black. Dude, I like the part where they so like sly little things where they're like, you know, doing it, and they're standing though, and one of them kicks a soccer ball out from the way from under
Oh,
them,
yeah.
and it's a blue soccer ball, like moving the blue balls out of the way.
Oh, I
Sorry.
didn't even catch that. That is, yeah,
It's
you're
a
totally
small-
right.
Maybe
Oh.
they didn't play, but it was obviously
Yeah.
intentional. In some
Yeah, it's
way.
one of those things
They
that
zoom in on the feet for a second.
yeah, that we just like overanalyze. We're like, well, I think the symbolism is
And they're like,
the
I don't know.
releasing
Yeah.
of semen from
Or
the
could it-
testicles, the milking of the dick.
Or it could have just been them just showing them having sex in their socks. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I mean, either the point is across. It's hot. It's
It is
juicy.
hot.
It's in a shed.
Should have been a longer
Watch it.
scene.
It should have been a longer scene, honestly.
It is a shed, isn't
Oh yeah, and again the fart version that we just watched. Like every time there's a thrust, there's a fart.
it? It was.
Every single
Great.
time.
It was.
Which
great.
is so dumb, but it makes me laugh because I'm a child. Oh, it's so
Makes
funny.
me feel better for the times I farted during sex. Just kidding.
Same. Sorry, Mary.
Yeah, sorry, man. Just kidding.
And so the next scene that was like pretty like great that stood out to me next was the baseball scene. And that's like, you remember that? Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know. You're better at telling me.
Okay,
I'm always like, there was
yeah,
a
no
team, and then the coaches talked, and then it was.
Oh, so like what was happening is like Coop, which is
Yeah.
Michael Showalter. I don't even know if I said that. I'm so
Zach
sorry.
Orris?
Yeah, and Zach
Yeah.
Orris. And they're talking to the kids and they're like all like, oh, well, I mean, baseball games are pretty try, you know. And so then like the other team shows up and he's like, Zach, how you feel? And he's like, all right, let me go talk to him. And then like he goes up and he's just like, hey, the kids aren't feeling. He's like, oh yeah, we're not either. It's pretty hackneyed or like something like that. And then
They're
they just
still on the
leave.
bus.
Yeah, they just go out of camp and they're like, hey guys, they're totally cool with it.
I just love the idea of a whole bus coming in. Just kidding, we gotta go like 2 hours away to our camp again.
Right. Oh, it's so good. Oh yeah, and then the barbecue sauce scene. I love that with Elizabeth Banks and Paul Rudd. Like Elizabeth Banks is like trying to be like, seductress kind of to Paul Rudd.
Trying to take Paul Rudd away from Amy.
Yeah, that's like another big conflict that's going in the movie is Elizabeth Banks' character trying to steal Amy, or not Amy,
Marguerite Monroe.
Katie. Yeah, Marguerite Monroe.
I just saw it in there.
Yeah.
Babysitter's Club was another heavy thing for her. Anyway, but yeah, she's like barbecue sauce mouth.
Oh yeah, and like she's got. Thank you for just like reminding me. Like I feel like you could tell it's like he's lost
You
train
do
of
it
thought.
for me too, because I've been on like, wait, where, what song are we on again?
But yeah, like Elizabeth Banks just has like barbecue sauce all over her face. She's like trying to like make out with Paul Rudd, and he's just not into it. And Paul Rudd is just like, you got like some on your face. She's like, yeah, I know. And it's just like you got like barbecue sauce all over your face. You're just like, yeah, I know. It's just like, it's pretty foul.
Yeah, I'm like, it's pretty foul, and they're
Yeah,
still like flirty
it's pretty foul.
And then later he tells him, like, the scene after the kiss?
Oh,
and then
when
he's
they're on
like,
the boat?
he's like, you taste like a burger now. I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, that's so
Tastes like a
amazing.
burger now. I'm not into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Paul Rudd has some of the best, just like
They literally
two words or
lose a
one
kid to
line.
murder, and but like Paul Rudd's just like, oh, burger breath, gross.
Girl. No, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
He's some great one-liners in this, or even just his facial expressions. Paul Rudd are just
Paul Rudd, fucking
great.
Oh my God, we
Did we-
completely
did
glossed
we
over
skip
the
it?
fucking
The
cafeteria
scene.
scene.
The cafeteria.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Ah.
Like, so Paul Rudd is just like eating, and like then Janine Garofalo comes into frame, and he literally just throws he frisbees his fucking plate just across the mess hall, and like just kicks up his chair and it falls over. And Janine Garofalo's like, "You gonna pick that up?" And he's like, like very teenager about it, and like dragging and stomping his feet, and like doing the whole like flail
yes.
to pick something up off the
when he
ground.
like he's never really standing erect in the scene. Like he's just
Yeah.
like half slumped.
Yeah,
like,
he's very loosey goosey, very I don't want to do this. And like my favorite part of that is like every time like you pick something up, he like checks, and she's like continue, and he's like and just
facial expressions. Again,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like Paul Rudd is he's a gem.
yeah,
It's-
man, that scene was so
I
amazing.
feel that doing anything. I just like want to channel him in my brain.
Right,
Don't ask me doing anything.
and so
Oh, and then it kept having him fart. The fart track kept going every time he'd lean down to pick something
oh
up.
yeah,
That
that's
was fun,
right,
too.
yeah, that
It was
did
an extra
happen.
bonus
Right.
of the
The
bonus.
farts
features.
all the time in the bonus features. It's great. The 8th song is Beth by Kiss. Probably one of my least favorite Kiss songs. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because I don't want
called
a
Beth?
lawsuit. Yeah, it's called Beth by Kiss.
Did they
It's
just like,
sung by Peter Criss.
so they had Jane, Danny, Beth,
Yeah.
all just like, hey, do you guys know any songs with first names as the title?
Yeah.
Like, get those for the soundtrack.
Right. That's actually a good observation. I've never made
I
that
just
before.
thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that
First
is
names here.
right.
So,
And like, I don't want a lawsuit, so I'm not going to talk too much about this song. Kiss is
Oh.
known for suing people. I don't want to
Oh.
feel the wrath of Kiss.
don't piss off Kiss or Metallica.
Yeah, right. Lars will gripe about
Lars.
streaming or whatever.
Yes.
But like, I will say, watch the music video for Beth by Kiss. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. So it's like, it's sung by Peter Criss, and it's a ballad about how he misses his like wife or girlfriend, Beth. And it's like a very slow jam, and Peter Criss is singing, and all the members of Kiss, that would be a great tribute band though. We are the Chris Army. Just get all that, like the Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, get them in on
All
it.
of my ex-boyfriends all named Chris.
Yeah, they could be
There's
the
been a
two.
couple.
They could be a tribute to Chris. Anyways, watch this music video because like Kiss is like Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and the star man. I can't remember his name right now, and that's irritating me. I'm sorry, true Kiss fans. I'm a poser. Then again, I like metal. But the band members of Kiss are all sitting around Peter Criss, and he's like singing, and Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are seemingly so fucking annoyed in this music video.
Really?
Yeah, like they're like Gene Simmons like rolls his eyes at one point.
way.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know if like they meant to like just be like, yeah, we gotta do this one fucking song because Peter the Ringo Chris wants to be on a song. Yeah, and like the only good song or the only good part of the song is the orchestra part, which is the exact part they use. They're like, fuck Peter Criss.
Yes.
We don't want him in this movie either. And like, yeah, so watch the music video. It's absolutely gold.
Wait, where's that at in the...
Oh, you can find it on YouTube.
No, but this scene. Oh, yeah.
The
that's
capture the flag
bed.
scene. Yeah, that's like...
The capture the flag.
Yeah, where they have
What's
that...
his name?
I can't remember his name. He's like, I believe either a Jamaican or like African runner from like the early 2000s. I'm not sure.
He looked familiar when I saw him.
Yeah, but he's the one that like
that scene.
wins the capture the flag game.
Out of nowhere, the
and they really got him.
Yeah,
like he was in the movie,
and he's in his like actual like Olympic gear, like like with the number. And
it was a really funny scene. Yeah. Oh, and also for that music video, I will have it in that playlist that I mentioned earlier at the end of the episode. Day by day, we're gonna come back to that for the talent show because it's amazing.
I'm gonna get sick of my head again.
All right. Oh yeah. So now we're introduced to H. John Benjamin's character, a talking can of soup who can suck his own dick, and is proud of this. Is so
butt on your ass,
so
rub butt
You're
on your
right.
ass.
like Chris Maloney's character Gene and this soup can just have a real come to Jesus meeting in the kitchen.
Yes.
Like
I was inspired by it.
Right? It really is inspiring. And he's like, excuse me again. But he's talking about like smearing mud on his ass, and then H. John Benjamin, the soup. We'll call him the soup. The soup is like, oh no, it's not even soup. It's just vegetables. We'll call them vegetables.
Oh, you're right. It is. We say soup can.
Yeah,
but
we
it
do.
is a
Yeah.
vegetable can.
I just see a can.
Vegetable can.
Damn you, Andy
sound
Warhol.
Cool. Yeah.
Now I see a can and it's just.
It's just Campbell's
It's
just
soup.
on it.
Damn
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so the vegetables is like, what did you say? And he's just like, I said something about a task. Go away or something. So I'm butchering this. And he's like, come on, like, don't lie about it. You clearly said you wanted to smear mud on your ass. Like, be honest at least.
Just be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
It's a whole great talk about being honest.
yeah, and like, this comes up later in a just phenomenal scene. Actually,
Pep
that
talk from a can.
since we're skipping day by day for now, we're actually going into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is higher and higher, which is this montage scene of because there's been this underlying conflict about Coop and Katie and Andy, Paul Rudd's character, and like this love triangle, and Coop is trying to become the best Coop he can be to win over Katie because their relationship's a little rocky at the moment. And so
In a mini coupe.
yeah, yeah, this whole time he's been a mini Coop. Car jokes. Welcome to Schmuck Gear. I'm sorry, it was a good joke. I feel like I dissed you, and I'm feeling bad about it
I'm like
instantly.
energetic, super shit. Bullshit. Don't listen to me, guys.
But like, so like, Coop is in this montage, and he is essentially becoming a character we will later call in the movie Super Coop. And that's what David Wayne and Michael Showalter call him. It's fantastic. And this score was written, I believe, by Craig Wedren and Theodore Shapiro.
Nice.
And in this scene, Coop is crying like just the most extra tears. Like he's like doing a dance while crying.
Yeah.
Like it's so over the top and just like sobbing. And then like so this is like Coop and this is Gene. Just comes out from behind him.
Like, yeah.
And I think he's like, be who you are, or something. Which to Coop, this is apropos of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Gene just had a very real moment with a can of vegetables and a refrigerator in front of a bunch of miners. Humping a fridge in a cafeteria.
He humped the fridge.
Yeah, oh, my favorite line from that scene is just like, he's got the can, he's like, this is my best friend.
He comes out of nowhere, the can is like,
Right? Oh man, he has so many like funny little bits in that, like with the barbecue sauce bit, like right after that barbecue bit, like Chris Maloney just like comes into frame, catches a hamburger and puts a bun on it.
The burger just flies in from
so smooth, just like it lands.
Yep. Not like he's looking for a burger to come in his
Yeah.
hand. He's just like there's a
like
burger.
someone dropped a burger into his hands. It was fantastic. I have no idea how many tries that took. I'm gonna look that up. Doesn't matter now.
Funny.
That's just for recreation.
Look in the liner notes of this podcast
Right.
for extra tidbits you found post
Right.
screening.
Maybe I'll make another video. We'll see. So like they start to proceed to have this like full conversation about like being who you are, and for almost the entirety of this entire conversation, like they're just like look that way, like they're they're talking like this the entire time to each other,
Like this
and,
close.
Yeah, they're like, is that you, Gene? Be who you are.
Be who you are.
Yeah.
Like all loud, right in his voice.
Okay. like Michael Showalter just looks mystified and like pants-shittingly scared the whole
He's
time.
still crying.
And they never look at each other until like the end of the conversation.
And then he just looks and their faces are almost, they like could have kissed. They were so
yeah,
close.
like there's so much tension. Like I wish they put in a mini kiss there.
It's like, yeah.
Oh man.
Cheek kiss.
Right. And then
Oh, and the higher and higher. Oh, and then he dance fights that song. But you said that song gets stuck in your head all the time.
yeah, I do. Like higher and higher, I'll like sing in the shower, like something into the fire, taking me higher and higher. Oh.
It's a
like,
really catchy song. I was singing it by the second time it came around.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, it is infectious.
I
You
want to wake up in the
understand
morning and
that,
sing this in the shower.
right? Like it's a good like making my coffee like into the fire, like putting the milk, like just getting ready for your shit job that's going nowhere. Sorry, went to a space there. The next scene is where's the phone? So this is when Janine Garofalo and Joe Trujillo is he's gotten back to the camp after trying to run down Ken Marino. I don't know how he beats him there, considering Ken Marino was winning the race. That's just continuity that I saw, but I don't want to be a big fucking nerd about it and take apart my favorite movies. I want to build them up.
But in this movie, at least, is sometimes like they probably thought of those things like, no, make it like
yeah, like they were like,
wild.
Fuck it, it's raining. I don't care. I'm sleeping in a cabin.
It adds to the wackiness of the movie.
Right. Yeah, it does fit really well, and like especially the wackiness in this scene. Like so when like Joe Trujillo is like going to like Janine Garofalo's character, he's like, those kids are about to go over whatever like, Devilly Canyon. Blah, blah, blah. It's a waterfall. This is not quoted, by the way. And then, like, Janine Garofalo is like, we gotta save those kids! And they're going into, like, all the cabins, just fucking wrecking them.
I would have loved to be like an
Janine
actor
said
in
it
this.
was, or Janine Garofalo, again, I don't know her. Janine Garofalo, she was like, this was my absolute favorite scene to film.
That's another reason why I would want to be that role.
Yeah, she said it was so much fun.
So much fun. How many times did they say how many
I think
times
they just
did
did
that?
it once.
Okay, because that would have been hard to set up again. Like,
Exactly, I think that's what they were
like,
talking
we got
about.
one and done. That's fun. So, okay, did they not make the phone call because the phone was off the hook?
Well, the phone was off the hook, and then they found Ken Marino like right after going out of the building. So I think that's why they didn't go look for another phone.
I thought the phone was off, but they were like, the phone's like as if you could hang it up and then.
Well, they were were like a call's coming from inside the house kind of thing. So they like got to the phone and there was no one there, and they're like, we're losing time. And I'm like, oh yeah, and that's when Joe Trujillo like freaks the fuck out, and he like grabs his glass jar, just tosses it against the wall, and then like breaks a lamp. And they cut this out. He picks up the second jar and also breaks it. Like it's, and I wish they kept that in because it's so funny. Just like,
like a rule of, 3, isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
Make more shit.
Like, that's the only thing that I'm like, I wish they would
cut off 2 seconds from this film.
Exactly, like, I thought it would have made it so much better. I didn't understand
that.
Oh yeah, and then, like, with that, like, it cuts to the children on the raft, and they're like screaming, but like not well. And David Wayne said because they were so actually terrified of like being on the raft that close to the waterfall that they physically could not act scared because they were terrified.
They like shut down. That's wild. To
And they're like,
act scared while you're being scared.
They're like, no, bigger, like, ah, and be like, ah. Like, these children
frozen.
were getting traumatized.
I'm pretty sure one was actually crying. His face was just like horrified the whole time.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was great.
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it pans him for like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, and then like you'll see in the behind the scenes it kind of traumatized some kids. Like the kid that plays Artie, like when they took him with like in that shower scene. I'm sorry, this is all over the place. No timeline to it.
Shower scene sounds bad. You're like, they traumatized
Oh yeah, I should
the shower
preface that.
scene.
I should preface that. So Artie doesn't shower, and he's the kid that's like in the radio station. I feel like Artie sometimes, even though it's my first podcast. Just a loner wanting to broadcast. And that's why you're here. This is so much easier.
Yeah, I felt that way in my first episode. I'm like, I can talk forever, but I need somebody to bounce.
Right, exactly. And like, yeah, but like they tried to put, or they got Artie in the shower finally because all throughout the movie they're like, take a shower. He's like, okay, and then he never takes a shower. So they like put him in the shower, and the kid is who plays Artie. He was like, let me go and all that, and then they like put him in the shower, and then they like turned it on and stuff, and then the next scene, it like cuts really quick, and then they're all like outside celebrating, but it cuts so quick like that because immediately after they did that, Artie started bawling. Like it was like I really feel for the kid, like as a like also chubby child and now adult, it was just. I felt for him. I was like, man, that sucks.
That would be a kid's like nightmare, and then
Yeah,
to have all these
exactly.
cameras, even if it's
Not to mention it being immortalized.
Yeah, to make mimicked. Yeah, anyway, that's sad. Aww.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then so they just made a lot of kids cry on set, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And this is also kind of like where the Skylab arc gets introduced to the film. So like the Skylab, the thing from when I wasn't alive.
One of the satellites?
One of them things I've heard about in the movies. And like, the Skylab kind of arc is like just now starting to come into play with David Hyde Pierce's character being the Niles Crane from Frasier. And like, so they start like this whole arc of Skylab and how it's gonna land on the camp, and we're trying with this like band of misfits that love astronomy. They're trying to get it away from the camp and save the
kids.
camp. Yeah, the Cure Girl and the Dungeon Master Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, those are I love the Dungeon Master Kid so much. It's so funny.
Skylab. Yeah, there's a lot of like background little stories.
Right. And now we're actually getting to the part I want to talk about the most, which is the talent show.
The talent show.
It's
oh
so
my gosh,
good.
It's wild.
Like on the
part of the talent.
Yeah, like so all the acts that happen. So there's a kid with a broom, and he balances it for 5 seconds,
They're all 5 seconds.
and then he's done.
He
And
just
everybody
walks in,
claps.
he's like,
Everybody's like, "Yeah, that was awesome!" And then, oh my god! And then there's the Def Jam comedy kid, who's
I
like,
wrote that kid on here too.
Yeah, what did you write
I think
about
that
it?
was just it.
"Oh,
I can't remember where it's at. I might have just remembered it. Anyway.
oh yeah," like, but David Wade said like he did that because like when he went to summer camp like and they had talent shows, there was always like one kid that would do like the Chris Rock or the Eddie Murphy stand up, and so like that's what they were trying to do, and it's like so odd, but it makes
One
me
white
laugh.
kid in a poker visor.
Yeah, like when it's like polka dotted or something,
Yeah.
it's very odd.
Oh,
It's so funny though.
hilarious though. The talent shows.
Oh yeah, and then like the metal kid who like screams for everybody to like eat and wake up and stuff. He just farts fire. That's his
Oh
talent.
yeah,
It was
a lot
awesome.
of like 2-second talents,
Right. I think they did that purposely.
which I like because you could show the whole talent and not have to do like Because they had some where the little girls were singing their little song or whatever, and
Mhm.
you know, more of whatever. But then I like the ones that were just a second here and there.
And
Something
like at the end, or not technically the end, but like all the farts that happen when Ron shows up, which is Molly Shannon's ex in the movie, it is like in the bonus, like it's very much like this is what Molly Shannon in the normal version. This is what Molly Shannon's been working towards the whole time, is to tell Ron basically to fuck off, and like the kids got her back, and they do it, and it's great. But in the version we watched, farts, aggressive, diuretic farts.
They were not this intense during the beginning, right?
Yeah, no, like
that scene, and then after that, like scene, the farts are like
Yeah.
overdrive, like some juicy sounding ones, some that sound like they're stuttering, and like.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm not good at fart noises. I don't do it because I'm a girl. I don't know what they sound like. This is my first
You
time
can
hearing
fart
a fart.
here. What's the score as a fart encouraging? But what would rip? Let's go. Party. You want a beer? I can actually.
We're not shotgunning.
Can I have a beer?
Shotgunning Keystones.
Mary, can I have a beer?
Sure.
Mary.
I'll be your sexy
Mary
bartender.
is also
Amazing
an
man.
artist. You can check out
Oh
her
my gosh.
Instagram, Articus Designs. She's fantastic. She's a painter, a graphic illustrator.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure I get your
Big
credentials
terms,
right.
yeah.
She's really good though. She has like shows here in Tucson and stuff, and she's really
so
good. Give
good.
her a follow.
Yes.
Buy her stickers. They're really good. We'll probably come out with stickers at some point
I
for
love
the
you
podcast.
guys' stickers.
And just write us a letter. We'll send you one.
I had some of your guys' stickers on an old comedy notebook. I mean, I still keep them all. And then I have
Oh,
like
yeah.
a classroom globe at my house.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
kind of
thank
shitty.
you.
Thank you. Hi, Mary. Say hi, guys. But yeah, and then I put some of your guys' stickers on that, and then I think you gave Mario one. Oh no, you guys gave Mario one. Anyway, more. Articus Designs.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
That'd be
And why don't we go ahead and just cheers. First
Cheers
episode
to
of the
simple
podcast.
time.
Oh, should we go
Yeah,
on it?
I'm honestly like really honored that you asked me to be on it.
I was stoked that you
Like,
came on it. Like your podcast is really cool and super high quality. And you're one of my oldest friends in the comedy scene.
yeah, met you guys like right off the bat. I think.
Yeah, like
Um,
when I think of like all my friends like in Albuquerque, like obviously I think of like all the garage people and like Sarah Kennedy and you know, everybody there. But like the first one comes to mind all the time is just like you and Sam, which
Aw.
Sam Alvarado will absolutely be on this podcast at some
yeah,
point.
he's come to visit you guys here too.
Yeah,
right?
he came
Yeah.
for 4th of July,
Sam's
which
also
was
in
really fun.
Albuquerque. Yeah, and you told me, you're like, come on, be on the first episode. And I was like, yeah, like Zoom or whatever. You're like, or if you're gonna come in like a week and a half, if you want to be on it live. I was like, fuck yeah! Like you asked in
I
a way
was
that
surprised.
you didn't think I would come. I'm
I
like,
really didn't.
cool. I'll pre-record my own podcast so I don't have to be there next Wednesday. I'll just show up and let's do it.
Right, it
and
was so
also,
sweet.
I used to live in Tucson. I love Tucson. My sister still lives here. My friends, some of them are here. So it was also an excuse to do that and then just chase you guys here. Because when you guys moved, I was like, I will see you again in Tucson. This isn't the end. I'll find you. Anyway. All right, back to it. Cheers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, cheers. And so the end of like the talent show is kind of after the Ron thing, and that's when, oh my God, no! Before we get to the wind powered dude, we have to talk about Alan Shemper. So, what was your favorite Alan Shemper?
Shemper.
Oh,
So
for
it was
those of you
Michael
who-
Showalter, right?
Yeah, Michael
Honestly.
Showalter, who plays Coop, also plays Alan Shemper, and he was actually
He's the most.
they made his character kind of after Tony Clifton,
Wait, from.
Andy Kaufman.
Oh, duh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes
and-
sense.
yeah,
he
and
was
it's
of that
like-
era wearing a suit like that. with,
Exactly,
Like,
the
this, like, gray
comedian
wig.
suit.
We're like,
Yeah,
well, it's like I loved how that joke went from like obviously they knew his jokes that he was doing was so campy and like I'm
Yeah.
so old I was in the Stone Age or like whatever,
Yeah.
and then the audience is laughing at beyond
gonna
belief,
change
like
this lighting.
overdrive, like laughing to it, and you're like,
There we
this
go.
is funny, but not that, and so it's campy. And then he comes back again, and it gets a little deeper, a little deeper, and then by the end, I was laughing hard too, and I was like, he's brought it back, like the rule of three, where like you dig it so deep, where now he's actually funny and not just campy funny, you know?
Right.
I like that. What was he talking about? The walk on fours.
Oh, dude! Like, ask Mary. I talk about that all the time. Like, it's my favorite quote of this movie.
Yeah. Because he's talking about he lived in dinosaur times.
Yeah, he's like
pterodactyl eggs for breakfast.
Yeah.
Like,
I went to
shit.
summer camp so long ago that my best friend wasn't fully developed yet. His name was Ugg, and he walked on all fours.
That's the line.
So amazing.
That was my favorite of his, where I just like lost it.
Yeah.
And I think he didn't have more after that, but I was laughing.
Yeah.
Through my eyeballs to read the other line.
Exactly. Like, that's one of those jokes, like, you have to
so
rewind
great.
it so you can hear the rest of the jokes. Because it's just so funny.
Yeah, that was another great character.
I love the
character,
inclusion
even
of
though
that
they were
character.
small. That's what I love about this movie, is there was like a lot of seemingly some character thought or development within small scenes, you know?
Mhm.
It's like you saw him, he made you laugh, but he was only in for that moment of the movie, you know? And like other people who just bust in and they're like, oh, they're just here for this, but hilarious.
Right.
I don't know. I just like that they cared about each character that was on there, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Nobody was like a throwaway. You know?
Exactly. Like, they really, like, wrote, I thought, like, to the highest they could for, like, each character. Like, you can tell, like, what drives each character, even if it's just, like,
Yes.
buffoonery.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, so, like, funny. And, like, yeah, it's just really a wonderful movie. Just well written, even though, which I'll talk about right now, did not get good reviews at all.
Most of these don't. Like,
My favorite review that I read was Agony on a Stick by The Oregonian. A hometown paper of mine.
Agony on a Stick?
Agony on a Stick.
I've never even heard that said before.
Right, I was like, what kind of phrasing is this?
I'll talk about, like, after I get off a set, I'm like, that was agony on a stick.
Yeah, it's just something that I would work into my vocab. Yeah, and then after the Alan Shumpert thing, we see Steve, which is Zach Orth's character's brother, and his talent is the power to control wind.
Which I love. The whole time, like, this like weird little
Yeah,
kid, whatever,
we use
whatever.
chickens as guns, like.
But in it, right? Isn't he already dialed in? Like, when you show him here and there, he has like a hat and he's doing these weird wind things, whatever, and checking the wind and writing shit down. But then later you're like, oh, he's the reason, obviously, why this. Like, did he know that the Skylab piece of junk was also coming, and that's why he created the wind, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then, so I'm like, oh, this
Well,
all came
honestly,
together.
I think it
so
was
like,
just
you didn't-
coincidence.
Do you? Because I didn't know if that was like.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh wait, actually.
Right, because they all think it's them.
Oh yeah, and he was like in the woods,
with
like, yeah.
hat
I think
and,
you're
like,
right. I
doing
think
all
you're
his
right.
calculations. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that where. Anyway, he's the hero after all.
Yeah, no,
And it's a almost silent character.
Well, they even like talk about that like towards the end of the movie. Like one of the kids is like, "We did that, right? Like, wasn't the guy with the wind?"
Yeah, exactly. That was us, right?
Yeah, like they're just like, "I think so."
Sorry, the wind thing.
Oh no, you're good. What about the wind thing?
Just that scene was so great. Another
yeah.
one that like lasted longer than you think it would, but that's what made it funny.
Yeah, and then like Katie and like Coop like getting together, and then it does not last long. Poor Coop. We'll talk about it in a sec, but oh my god, it's so brutal.
I feel different from remember when we talked before supper earlier. It's like 2 hours later. Whole new man.
Yeah, yeah, like
The shirt
yeah,
in the
super
box.
Coop.
Super cute.
Yeah, the shirt in the box. Oh man,
Sure.
that
He was in a
Coop.
tiny box, and it was like this flannel shirt he'd been wearing. She's just like,
And it just like Mary
like,
Poppins out of the way, like out of this box,
Give away all the good shit, sorry.
and like Higher and Higher comes back, the song we were talking about.
During the wind.
Yeah, during the wind, and that's when Katie and Coop get back together, and Katie is like, "I love you, Beth Cooperberg," or no, sorry,
yeah.
Gerald Cooperberg.
But remember Gerald Cooperberg.
Yeah, Cooperberg. That's why his name's Coop.
Okay, you can't read my writing, but that's what that says. Because I was looking, and so we both wrote down the fact, because I thought Coop was short for Cooper, or whatever. Gerald
Cooperberg.
Cooperberg.
Sounds like an exotic bird, like a Koopaberg.
Cooperberg.
Like a Kookaburra.
Capybara.
Capybara, yeah. There we go. I know animals.
Wait, capybara is...
That's a mouse.
That's
Cat?
a giant guinea pig.
It's a rodent. I don't know.
Dodo? I don't know.
We'll figure it out, yeah. I went to public school. Leave me alone.
Look up Coras, they're cute. Is that how you say them? I don't know.
And, yeah, like we said before, the wind powers threw off the Skylab and saved everybody. And then there's, like, this saxophone track that I couldn't really find any information on. I'm sure it's on the OST, which is actually available on YouTube. You can look at it right after you watch this. Oh, yeah, OST, original soundtrack, sorry.
Okay, no, I was saying from me. I'm like,
oh, no problem.
Clarification.
After that track is like the end of camp. It's where everybody's saying goodbye. David Hyde Pierce. Yeah, he literally like, okay, this is actually perfect. Like, so this is a trophy, and he's just like talking to Beth, and then he just goes like this, sets like the trophy down, and then they're in a field.
Yeah,
like I don't know where he put that.
around.
Like I think someone just like grabbed it, but like it's not
like,
explained at all.
Yes, that was there's off. Yeah, again like the burger and like what else we talked about earlier. I was like, yeah. That was great. That one, and then she's like, I found love, something, something. He's like, I want a kiss and marriage, and she's like, I'm already pregnant. We're having a baby.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, everything worked out perfectly.
Yeah. It's just very cheesy at the end.
It's so good.
And then Molly Shannon.
Oh my gosh.
This is odd.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like it's like
it's such a strong choice.
Yeah, especially like nowadays, like it's real weird to watch.
So weird. This movie's 20
Yeah,
years
Molly
ago.
Shannon ends up with the kid that has been consoling her the whole time. Like that's her new boo.
He's gotta be 10.
Yeah,
maybe.
and it's like a 10-year-old
a short
boy.
11, a small 11.
Yeah.
At most.
Oh man, like it's hard to watch, but at the same time, like it's a joke, but it's like one of those parts of the movie where you're like, I could see how this maybe got a not great review.
Oh, right, because at that time, well, you have to think that in 2001, I mean, there was some sort of like absurdist humor,
for sure,
but not as much as there is now on these like weird. So they were kind of like paving, at least in that like way, some things to like people like we've never seen something like this. What do we make of it?
Right.
They're
to
throwing
someone
the book
who
at
hasn't
it.
like been like really like dipping their toe into like comedy like that, it might be a little jarring. I think it's hilarious.
That's genius.
Molly Shannon is obviously not fucking this kid.
No, I love
it's
that they
funny.
tell Niles and Janine Garofalo. They're like, "Oh, great, you guys end up together. Come to our wedding next week."
Next week.
And then she has his arm. He has his arm around her waist.
Yeah, it's very like tongue in
amazing.
cheek, just funny, just a funny way to like end the movie. And this is where Katie fucking obliterates Coop's soul.
Dude, I felt that too. It was like, hilarious and my heart hurts.
Right, and like the whole thing, like it's totally reasonable. Like Katie's like, I'm young. Like I want to fuck this gorgeous dude, not this sweet goofball. And like I hope you understand. And it's like totally understandable, but like the way she does it is just so brutal.
Oh, and he keeps going on where he's like, you can see his face. He's like, all right, cool, I'm done. Thank you for your honesty. And then his eyes are just pain.
Yeah,
and he's like, there's more?
Yeah, and then Janine Garofalo comes up and consoles Coop because she just witnessed this fucking pillage of the soul. And they walk away and the credits play. That's the movie. And I will say that there are 2 songs in the credits. One of them is Wet Hot American Dream. That was written by Peter Sellette. And like I said, it plays in the credits. And then immediately after that is Summer in America, which is like a Run DMC type rap.
I wanted to sing Summer in America. And that's not the right melody for these lyrics at all.
Yeah, it's honestly like, I mean, I like it. It's very Run DMC, and I love Run DMC and like Beastie Boys and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like it's a fun way to end the credits. And yeah, that's our first show.
Oh.
What were you gonna say?
There's one little sneak sneaky sneaks during the credit where they
Oh,
just
yeah,
talk
I
about
almost
it.
forgot, yeah.
I was in the
So-
bathroom, so I wanted to hear more about
Oh
that.
yeah, so
I thought it was
in the
done.
movie, like in the beginning, they talk about like the 10 years later, how they're all gonna meet up, and they're like, oh, let's meet at 9. Should we meet at 9:30? Or yeah, should we meet at 9 or 9:30? It's like, well, why don't we say we meet at 9, so we can be here by 9:30? And then Michael Ian Black's like, oh, well, why don't we be here at 9 and show up at 9? We're all gonna be in our late 20s. I don't understand why we can't be places on time. And they're like all like 30 in the movie, which is so funny.
That part too brings you into whatever, because they don't talk about it until like Katie's destroying Coop, and she's like, I'm 16, all I want to do is have sex, or
Yeah,
whatever. And you're like,
exactly.
wait, these are 15, 16, 17-year-olds?
Right?
Yeah, and then another one at the, like, when they're talking about the meeting time, so it's like, make it 9:30, I got something at 11.
Yeah.
And they're like, what, you have something at 11? He's like, I have 2 things, or I already
Yeah.
moved it twice.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can't. I
So
have something at
funny.
11. I can't reschedule it. I've already moved it twice.
And then they popped it, but then it was the meeting at the end.
Yeah, and
I've
what
never
they
seen that
did, so
before.
the behind the scenes footage, they asked each member to display their character through like wardrobe and like dialects and like just where their character would be in 10 years. And it was really interesting. Like, I think A.D. Wells' character was like a Mormon lawnmower salesman or something.
Yes.
It's the funniest one. It's so funny. And then a lot of them have mustaches for some reason. Like, I think the only one that doesn't have a mustache is Bradley Cooper. Like, he's the only one that's like 10 years, no mustache.
Clean shaven, baby.
Zach Orth is a private detective. Paul Rudd's character is like he didn't really go anywhere in life. Like, he's got really long hair and like
What happens
combat
with those
boots.
kind of boys?
Which they actually do introduce those characters in 10 Years Later, the Netflix series. And then they also did First Day of Camp, also with the Netflix series. So if you really like this movie,
I watched
and I really hope you did, yeah, I did too. They're really good. I really recommend it if you like this kind of humor, and it just plays so well into the series. And I think they keep Jane by Jefferson Starship like all throughout as the theme song. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just singing that.
But yeah, and so they all get together for like the 10 years later, and like they come in, they're like, I thought we said 9:30, like because some of them are late, and then they sit down to watch the video cassette that they found of the kid that got kicked out of camp for jerking off, videotaped in the office.
Oh, God.
And they're like, all right, and then it just ends, and that is
Oh,
where the
God.
credits conclude.
That's
And
hilarious.
that is where our first episode concludes. It was so nice. I don't know why this is so green.
Ooh,
There we go. We
of
got
a-
lighting here.
Flick of a clicker.
Folks,
That's not a
buttons. But yeah, I had such a good time researching this
too.
movie and hanging out with
I
you.
love all these facts, dude.
Yeah.
I only learned a couple here and there. I'm glad we got to watch it like right before because it was like
Yeah,
fresh
it was really
and
fresh
exciting.
in the brain.
And I hadn't seen maybe like 4-ish years.
Right.
I was trying to get copies or whatever. Can I ask you one
Yeah.
question? Just because I had said, can I 3 things? Sorry, I'm not adding.
No,
Because I
you're
wrote
good.
notes. At the beginning, they're like, so what I'm saying, like, we're gonna play this movie for the kids again, and it's called the kids really want to watch the China 8 Syndrome movie again.
Oh yeah.
China 8 Syndrome. I'm like, what? Is that COVID? That's awful. I'm not racist. And then right now, that was an 81, so we're 30, however many years later, 40 now, as of now, but then it was 20 years before. So we're to 2021. Sorry, I like the numbers things. Who would you be? No, this is mostly nonsense.
In the movie?
Yeah, who would have been your like favorite role to play if you got to pick?
Oh.
If you were an actor now.
Man. Like, I would probably say, maybe, like, when I was younger, I feel like I was definitely more of, like, a Coop. Like, I was definitely
Mary, so that's her spirit
I
animal.
was, like, very, like, clingy and, like, but, man, we're supposed to be together, baby. Like, that was totally me in high school. And, like,
dated some of those that
Yeah.
actually looked like him. Like I told you, I dated
yeah, you were
a
talking
couple
about
of dudes
that.
who looked like Michael Showalter, and then I realized I was like, do I like Michael? Am I into him? I don't know, but I dated a lot of dudes who were kind of that character. Anyway, so that was you.
But I mean now I'd probably play like Zach Orth. I would imagine. Yeah, like because he's just like I also have a very obnoxious laugh. Like during Alan Shepard, he's losing his fucking mind, just laughing so energetically.
He's the one my eyes go to the most in that scene.
And yeah,
he's
exactly.
So great.
Like just bulging out of his head, eyes laughing, you know. Yes. And like, question for you, and then we'll conclude for real this time.
Yeah.
Did you go to summer camp? Do you have any camp memories?
I went once to summer camp. I actually read recently, my dad went through like old photos and stuff, and there was like files from school and other things they kept after years. Anyway, and there was like a postcard from Girl Scout camp. I don't know. And I guess I liked it, but I was kind of more of I liked being outdoors, but not with other people. Like I was kind of an indoor nerdy kid, quiet kid. Mm-hmm. But then in it, I was like, everything's cool, but here's all the names of all the horses at camp, because I like the horse riding part. I don't know, I got like best swimmer, I like the hiking. But I kind of kept to myself. I remember they named all of our Girl Scout camp people like weird names. Like they all had like, my Girl Scout camp leader is Skippy, and the other one is named like we didn't know their real names. Mm-hmm. I'm like, are they hiding their identity from like 5 years? Like what's happening here? Like, they kind of like
like stripper name mentality here.
I do remember it raining a lot, and me like being scared in the middle of the night, having to pee in the bathrooms were down, and it was thunderstorming like crazy, and I was like, I'll just hold it. And I held it till morning and did not sleep all night that night because I was too scared to like trek through the rain in the forest, which I don't know why because I'm a national park kid, but I just remember it was torrential downpour, so I feel for them. But I was there like a week, and that's the only time because I lived in national parks, so like camp was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, just walk outdoors, you're at camp.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, did you go to camp?
I went to choir camp. I was a choir guy. Went to state. Didn't do well.
Damn, you a tenor, an alto?
I was a tenor. I'm a smooth talking baritone now.
Oh.
But
probably me too.
It's loud and proud.
Loud and boys.
Yeah, I remember I went to camp, and I think the memory that sticks out at choir camp, it was so weird. Like my choir teacher. Have you seen the movie Freedom Writers? You know that scene where they're like, step to the line if this ever happened to you? We did that for like 2 hours.
You like trauma bonded?
Yeah, and it was like brutal. And like they turned all the lights out in the mess hall and we just did it in there. Like it's some goofy fucking trauma seance. Like it was so weird.
The not funny version of Never Have I Ever when you're an adult, you know? Like
yeah, exactly.
Game, but like
oh my
really
god, that's so funny. Yeah, never have I ever thought about suicide. Yeah. Like, that was, like, the bulk of it, too. Like, and I mean, like, I don't want to, like, shit on that. I've had my own dealings with suicidal thoughts in the past, and it's, like, nothing to, like, joke about.
No, same. I mean, I've talked about it on my podcast.
But, yeah, I will say that was the underlying theme of that. Which, if you're going to get a bunch of high school students together and ask them if they've ever thought about it, chances are, yeah, high school fucking blows.
Were they planning a mass suicide? Just kidding.
Yeah, I was like, this feels like Jonestown for kids.
Okay.
Who can sing? All right, well, on that Jonestown note, we're going to end it. Thanks so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Carla, do you have anything to plug?
Kind of, yeah. Just go to carlavasquezcomedy.com. Figure out how to spell my last name from his thing. Nobody knows how.
We got flyers on the Instagram.
Carla B Thinks Out Loud is my podcast. I do it anywhere you can stream, YouTube, whatever. Usually live Wednesday, always Wednesday at 6 p.m. Usually always live. This week it was pre-recorded with Bucky, but we'll be back live next week. Not sure the guests yet. And I don't know. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I got out of fucking Albuquerque for like the first time forever.
Right. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like learning about the Wet Hot American Summer soundtrack, as well as just facts of the movie. You can follow What's the Score with PJ Moore on Instagram. We're working on getting a Twitter right now. And we're also going to be doing like weekly movie and music recommendations. Also one at the end of every episode. This week, my movie recommendation is gonna be, let's see, what do we got here? I'm gonna go with the Rowan Atkinson Live. It's a Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. He did like a sketch comedy, one-man kind of show, but there's like 2 people in it. And it's just the funniest sketches I've ever seen in my life. I'll probably watch it
Really?
later tonight. Yeah, we can
I
watch
didn't
it
even
later.
know this existed.
But it's super funny. Please give it a shot if you're into sketch comedy. It is legendary. And then for our music recommendation, check out Clowncore. I know it's a silly name. They are fucking awesome. They're like these dudes that like one plays a saxophone.
I'm sorry, it sounds like a kind
I'll
of
show
porn.
it to you.
It sounds like a category of porn. I'm sorry.
It does. I'll show you them later. But like they like one guy plays a sax and then the other plays keyboard and drums like at the same time, even with like
What?
syncopated beat. It's crazy. Please give them a listen. They are awesome, and they're really like industrial and psychedelic, but super metal. So if you like a mishmash of sorts and you're into heavy stuff, please give it a shot. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
guys. Thank you.